DreAllDay.com.
What's good, everybody? Dre Baldwin with DreAllDay.com. This video and the next, let me see, we're going to break this into 6 videos in a row. I'm going to do these all 6 in a row. Going over the 31 major causes of failure in life as laid out by Napoleon Hill. For those of you who don't know who Napoleon Hill is, he's the author of Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the most successful business books of all time, self-help books, personal development books, whatever you want to call it. He also wrote a book called The Law of Success, from which Think and Grow Rich is derived, which is one of my favorite books of all time. It's a very long book, but it has every principle of success is laid out in this book. And what he did, he laid out his 31 major causes of failure in life. And I'm gonna go through 5 at a time in these videos. And I guess I had to do 6 in the last video. And this first 5. So the first 5 major causes of failure that he laid out are hereditary, ambition, just know, hereditary, purpose, ambition, education, and discipline. So I'm gonna lay out exactly what he means by those 5 things that cause people to fail in life, and what you need to be doing over the course of all of these videos is checking yourself against these, most of which you can control. Some of them you can't, but most of them you can. So let's get right into it. I don't need to give too much more background. If you never heard of Napoleon Hill, look up Think and Grow Rich, read the book if you haven't read it. Look up The Law of Success, read that book if you haven't read it. You got another book called Outwitting the Devil, which just came out like 8 years ago, even though Napoleon Hill's been dead for like 40 years. That book they held on to because some of the things he says in that book, he was afraid for his own safety if he had put that out. But his family finally put it out like 8 years ago, so look that one up as well. So that's 3 books for you to read right off the top. Let's get right into it. 31 major causes of failure. Number 1 is hereditary. Unfavorable hereditary, no background. Unfavorable hereditary, what's the word I'm looking for here? Foundation. So that means if you just get born into a family where, let's say your mother or your father had some type of genetic deformity that got passed down to you, and you end up not being able to grow into full size, or there's certain physical capabilities that most people have that you don't have, or you're born, blind, or you're born without one of your legs. Those are one of the things that cause you to be at a disadvantage in life. Doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to fail, but it puts you behind the 8 ball as compared to most other people. So when they say hereditary, I don't mean that it means that you're not 6'6", so you can't play in the NBA, because you can still be successful without playing in the NBA. There are plenty of examples of that. But if you can't do certain things physically, you have a certain hereditary deformities as opposed to the average or normal human being, then that could that could put you in a position to fail, much more of a position to fail than the average person. Doesn't mean you have to fail, but it puts you in a tougher position. So we're not going to go too deep into that one, because you can't really control that. So we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the things we can't control. The second one is purpose. And it doesn't mean having a purpose, it means a lack of a defined purpose in life. This is the number 2 major cause of failure in life. And if we take out hereditary, the thing you can't control, we just focus on the things we can control, this is the number 1 cause of failure. The things that people can control is that they have no purpose, meaning you have no aim. You don't know where you're going, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're about, you don't have any goals, you are drifting through life. You know what drifting through life is? Kind of like if a leaf just blew by me right here. There ain't too many trees around here. We got all this concrete. But if a leaf just blew by me right now, whatever way the wind is blowing that way, the leaf's gonna go that way. The wind blows this way, the leaf is gonna go this way. Whatever way the wind is blowing, the leaf just floats around. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't care which direction the wind is going, because it doesn't have any place to go. It's not good or bad. It's not a good day or a bad day. It doesn't matter, because wherever the wind goes, it'll go, because it doesn't have anywhere else to go. It has no plans, no aim, no strategy, no focus, no nothing. If you have no purpose and focus in life, you are guaranteed to fail. This is the number 1 thing of things we can't control that is a cause of failure in life. What is your purpose? Where are you going? Why are you getting out of bed in the morning? Why are you going to work? Why are you going to school? Why are you going to the gym? Why are you working on your game? Why are you watching a YouTube video that talks about the major causes of failure in life? What are you going to get out of it? What are you going to do with what you get out of it? It's not just to take in the information and do the things, but what's the purpose of taking in the information and doing the things? If you don't know your purpose, you are on the fast track to failure. The third one, we're talking about the major causes of failure here, is a lack of ambition. Now, what's the difference between ambition and purpose? Purpose is the thing that you wish to do. Ambition is a strong, burning desire to go further and higher and farther than you've been before, just based on the belief that you have inside of you that you're capable of doing it. Ambition is having big goals that are bigger than what the average person would look at, or what if you were to just take a look at the sum of the parts, so to speak, of what you have to work with, your physical well-being, your intelligence, your knowledge, your experience, the resources you have at your disposal. If you were to look at all those things, somebody could look at it and objectively say, you know what, you could probably get to right here in achievement if you maximize everything you have. Ambition says, you know what, I'm gonna go all the way up here, even with the exact same materials. And people are looking, you're looking at it, people are looking at it like, how are you gonna do that? You don't have the materials to even achieve at this level, but you have the plan on doing it anyway. That's ambition. And people lack ambition in life. That's the cause of failure. The reason why is none of us is perfect. So even if your goal is all the way up here, you would have to be perfect to get here. So if you're less than perfect, you might only get to about right here. So if your goal is right here and you have no ambition, then you're only going to get to about right here. What if this is average? You're not even going to get the average because we're not perfect. So even if our plans sound great, we may not be able to make them happen exactly as we want them to happen. Ambition is a burning desire to go above and beyond what seems plausible or reasonable or realistic for oneself. Don't have ambition, you won't push through when you get challenged, when things don't go right, when you have setbacks, when for some reason things are just not going according to your plan. Ambition pushes you through those blocks. Ambition pushes you through those concrete ceilings or those glass ceilings of setbacks and failures and challenges of life. Number four, major cause of failure in life is laid out by Mr. Napoleon Hill. So we had, I'm trying to remember these myself. So we had hereditary, we had purpose, ambition. The fourth one is education, a lack of education. Now this could be a couple different types of education. Of course you have the education where you go to school, and this is the basic level of education, because I'm giving my own interpretation of these points. This is not what Napoleon Hill said. I'm just taking his headline and I'm giving my interpretation of it. So yes, I do mean education in school for the basics, meaning, do you know how to read and write? Can you spell? You know, if somebody asks you to write something down, could you write it down? If I gave you a paragraph written on a piece of paper, could you read it and say it out loud to a classroom of people? That basic level of education. Can you count? You know, can you add numbers up? If I give you a bunch of money, could you count it up? Tell me how much money it is. Can you do simple mathematics in your head? That's the basic level of education. But the other level of education is, what are you doing to enrich yourself and make your mind more valuable even when you're outside of school? Meaning, are you reading any books outside of what your teacher requires you to read? Are you doing any studying outside of your 12 years of school, or if you go to college, those years of school? What are you doing to educate yourself, make yourself smarter, more valuable, and a more useful person to society at large outside of what is required of you? Meaning, are you watching videos like this one? Are you reading books? When I mention a book, are you going and getting the book and actually reading the damn book? Are you applying what you learned in the book? Are you talking to people who are smarter than you, asking them questions, finding out what they're doing that you're not doing, and starting to apply it to yourself to make yourself more valuable? How much personal development are you doing for yourself on a consistent basis? If you're not doing it, then you're not getting any smarter. If you're not getting smarter, that means you're getting stupider, because time is going on. If you're not moving as fast as time is moving, that means you're losing. You're in neutral. If you're in neutral, you're losing, because the world is always spinning. That's why we get day and night. If you don't know about that, you know, check a science textbook. Point number 5, this is the last one for this video. We're talking 31 major causes of failure. I'm gonna do this over 6 videos. This is the first of 6. A lack of discipline. These top 5 here are really key. If you only get 5, these 5 are actually a pretty good 5 to get. I don't even know the other 26 off the top of my head. I'll know the next 5 when we get to the next video. But a lack of discipline. What is discipline? It is your willingness and ability to show up every single day and do what you're supposed to do, or do what you committed to do, or do what you said you were going to do, even when you don't always feel like it. Even when it's raining outside, you still go outside and you run 5 miles. Even when you didn't get any sleep the previous night, you still show up to your job and you do your job. Even when your kids are getting on your nerves, you still get up and make them breakfast and make sure they're dressed and make sure they got something to eat so they can go to school that day. You doing your job, the job that you committed to, or the job that you are for whatever reason committed to, even if you didn't ask for it, just because you know it's your job. That's what discipline is all about. Doing the thing even when you are no longer as excited about the thing as you were when you first said you were going to do it. A lot of people in life just lack discipline. They're not willing to keep doing the work when they can't see the result, when they're not getting the result that they expected, when they see other people getting more results faster than them, when things are just not working as smoothly as they expected them to work, or you got people, maybe people around you questioning you, yo, when you gonna start making money from this business that you started? Yo, when you gonna get to the NBA? You've been working out every day all these years. When you gonna make varsity? You always practicing in the summer, but you're not even on your high school basketball team. When are you gonna get, when you gonna get your silver button on YouTube? You're making these videos all the time. When you have people around you, you might have people around you who don't have discipline, who don't understand that there's a process to success, and they start questioning you. And if you allow them to influence you, then that could lead you down a path of failure, because it may start to hurt and diminish your own personal discipline. So you got to check yourself on this principle of discipline. How willing are you to stick to your commitments even when you're not getting the immediate results that you thought you would get, or you're not getting results as quickly, or as they're not showing as much as somebody else's results, and you don't even know how they got their results, but you're comparing yourself to them. You're not feeling that they're farther ahead of you, and you don't farther ahead than you, then you don't want to stick to your discipline because of that. So how disciplined are you willing to be, especially when things are not going your way? So these are the first 5 of the 31 major causes of failure. We're going to go through these in the next 6 videos. And this first one, just to recap these 5. Number 1, unfavorable hereditary background, meaning you are just born in a way that physically you are just missing some things that the average person has, which puts you behind the 8 ball. It does not guarantee failure. It's not an excuse for failure, but it does put you behind the 8 ball for failure. Number 2, lack of, let me see if I make sure I do these in order. A lack of definite purpose in life. What is your purpose? Where are you going? What are you doing? What are you about? Do you even know? Can you even answer the question? Number 3, lack of ambition. Do you want to go further and farther than you've been before, higher than you've been before? Do you have a burning desire to go way higher than what would seem reasonable and realistic for you, given the tools that you have at your disposal? Number 4, education. Can you read and write and do basic mathematics? But on top of that, on a higher level than that, how much are you investing in educating yourself even outside of what is required of you, i.e. what your teachers make you do in school, what your parents force you to do? How much education are you taking in? How much personal development are you doing even when it's not being required of you? And number 5, a lack of discipline. Your ability to show up and do the work every single day, even when you least feel like it, even when you're not getting the results, even when it seems like it may never work out, even when you're like, man, I'm doing all this work and I'm getting nothing out of it, I did all this extra work for nothing. How willing are you to continue doing the work even when you start feeling that way? If you're not willing to do that, then you're probably on your way to failure. Check yourself for these 5 and check in for the next video where I'm going to go over the next 5 major causes of failure in life. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. My book, Work on Your Game, Using the Pro Athlete Mindset to Dominate in Business, Sports, and Life, is available now where all books are sold, physical, digital, and of course the audiobook, 100% done by me. If you have learned from these philosophies, the mental game, business, sports, life, anything you do, this is the book for you. Go get it now and work on your game. Dre all day.